Welcome to this episode of Shonen Flop, where we talk about manga and Shonen Jump that didn't make it big. I'm David.
I'm Jordan.
Next week, we'll be covering the comic. If you'd like to read along with us, be sure to join the discussion in our Discord and submit your 6-word summary. Find a link to the Discord in our episode description and on our website, shonenflop.com. But this week, we are talking about Get Away, Matsumoto, 100 Days Escape, and we are joined by the wonderful Tristan. Tristan, thank you so much for joining us today. Do you mind telling the audience a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Tristan, better known on the internet as Arcada. I run a YouTube channel called Glass Reflection, and I've been making anime-related content on YouTube since about 2009. That's the main place to find me. I also run a podcast with two of my good friends called Quest for the Best, where we are attempting to find the top 100 anime of all time, at least according to us, and our own very limited experience, and trying to broaden our horizons.
Oh, God, I'm just imagining, so we have a sister show called Anime Out of Context, where one of the hosts, Rem, is notable for hating about 90% of all anime.
Oh, God.
So I'm just imagining he would just be lighting a match on kerosene if he came on your show.
Oh, more than likely.
So what's the current number one, and why is it G Gundam?
Yes.
It is not G Gundam because we haven't done an episode on G Gundam yet.
That's the only reason why it's not G Gundam.
Quite potentially, although there are a lot of interesting Gundam opinions between the three hosts of this podcast.
What is your hottest Gundam take, then?
My hottest Gundam take? I don't really know if I have a hottest Gundam take. I have a lot of lukewarm takes that seem to be very common opinion when it comes to, like, Seed and Seed Destiny.
I knew when you were like, I have common opinions, I was like, I bet it's something about Seed.
Yeah.
It's Seed and Seed Destiny. I've seen a lot of people love Stardust Memory. I hate it with a burning passion. I am not one to say that you should watch the original Gundam 79. You should watch the trilogy movies instead. Much better use of your time.
Ooh.
This is also coming from someone who has yet to sit down and watch Zeta, because I know that I am going to absolutely love it, but I'm saving it for a time where I'm already in a good mood and also feel like I can sit down and watch 50 some odd episodes of Zeta Gundam, and then probably double Zeta, and then Char's Counterattack, and then so much other UC Gundam as well.
I love it. I watched Unicorn a few years ago, and I really enjoyed that one.
Unicorn's so great.
Right. What do you think of 8th MS Team? I felt like I had this core memory where it was like a very low power Gundam, and then I completely forgot like the last 3 episodes. It just turns into a like normal Gundam.
That was weird for me because I went into 8th MS Team and I was watching it purely because anytime I found like lists of people saying these are the Gundams that you should watch, 8th MS Team always popped up as like the kind of dark horse as the people that love Gundam love this Gundam. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll enjoy it. And it was good, but it was one of those I was expecting to watch something that like was more of an all-timer kind of feel. And I was like, no, this is still probably really good. I can only imagine that it was much better at the time when it came out compared to other contemporary Gundams, because I know there was like a bit of a drought there where Gundams were just kind of, they were all right.
So, Tristan, I have a question for you. As a Canadian, how do you feel about the Canadian Gundam from G Gundam?
I take it in stride alongside pretty much every other freaking Gundam in that show, man.
Also known as the Lumber Gundam.
I love it.
He's so good.
I always find it interesting when there's like really notable countries that were not ever represented. Like, I didn't realize South Korea does not have any G Gundam representation.
I mean, you can just tie that back to Japanese people not wanting to talk about Korean people.
That's probably fair.
I only know of a handful of times that Canada is ever brought up in Japanese media. And to me, it is hilarious that at least 2 times that I can think of, it is something lumberjack related. So G Gundam, we had the lumberjack Gundam. But then also in the Fate universe, there is Paul Bunyan.
I was going to jokingly say, is it Paul Bunyan?
It's Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan shows up in the Fate universe, and she's like this little chibi type girl who is also a massive giantess for some reason.
I love it.
That's the only Canadian representation in Fate as well, as far as I can remember. But it's like, we only have so many notable people historically to begin with. Over half of them are politicians, which,
I could literally talk about G Gundam for 10 hours, so...
Yeah.
I do not doubt it.
We should just make a G Gundam podcast at some point. Anyway, My last point is I think the only other time I remember Canada coming up was it was in the melancholy of Haru whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah, she's from Canada, ain't she?
They beat one of the bad guys and they say she moved to Canada.
She moved to Canada.
That's like, I was like, what? Did they just like mention Canada in an anime?
Skate. Oh, there was a Skate. Was it Skate 7 or Skate Beyond Infinity? There's a Skate show where the main character transferred back from Canada. And I think he is Canadian. Canadian. But it's like, yeah, no, Canada very rarely shows up, and I'm always happy when it does.
Yeah.
So, like, we have a really good Canadian show on now called Anne Shirley, because it takes place in PEI, and it's based on Anne of Green Gables. And that's great, and I love it. We need more Canadian stuff in Japanese media, just so I can feel semi-patriotic for once.
I love it. But we do actually have to talk about this manga, which sadly is not about Canada, and I don't think anyone from Canada shows up.
And it's sadly not G Gundam.
I know, but we are getting into... The series also starts with a G, which is Getaway Matsumoto. So let's get into the manga details. Jordan, take it away.
All right, so this is Getaway Matsumoto, 100 Days Escape, created by Tsuneharu Okusu. And this is
I like
apparently...
how you have to shout the name, just because that's just how it's presented.
Tsuneharu Okusu!
Undefeated of the manga.
Undefeated of the manga! Well, he's defeated, actually.
He definitely got defeated.
We wouldn't be talking about him.
MaxyBee absolutely shits on how unpopular this series was.
Look, the bike is burning red. Watch G Gundam to get those references again. Anyway, This is Okusu's first serialized work. They do have some amateur work hosted on the Jump Rookie web hosting platform. It's not really worth delving into, according to MaxyBee. But this series was published on Shonen Jump Plus from July 6th, 2024 to May 17th, 2025. Didn't really replace anything, but the series that replaced it is called Aliens, Baseball, and Civilization. Wow.
It's the sequel to Guns, Germs, and Steel.
Yes, fuck, yeah. By Taito Heiji and Sai Yamagishi. It's got 1+ volume, and according to MaxyBee, it's not looking good. So you might hear about that on this show soon. The series started at the same time as this series were Oversleeping Takahashi by Koki Aguro, 5 volumes, and it's just about not a flop. And No/Name by I'm sorry, all caps. Machine Gamu! Yeah. And Rafal Jockey, who I think is Kenshiro's evil brother. 2 volumes, huge flop, although the writer would correct MaxyBee here and say that the editorial just didn't pick it up for more chapters, you know? Like
that is very indefinite hiatus energy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a flop, they just decided not to keep going, which, as MaxyBee points out here, is, it's called a flop. It's called being canceled.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about Getaway Matsumoto! 100 Days Escape! 27 chapters, 4 volumes. Fortune's Last Reward. And here's the plot for that.
Matsumoto is a former competitive bike race guy who got kicked out of the bike world for doping, like a dang dope, even though he was freaking framed.
What?
5 years later, he's doing bicycle DoorDash 10 hours a day to forget that his dream is dead. He has lunch with his hot cop friend Kurokawa, who triggers him by reminding him of how sad he actually is. The next day, Matsumoto delivers some food, only to be knocked unconscious by a guy in a bunny suit. When he wakes up, he discovers the dead body of Tenryu, the evil idol manager who was putting together the ultimate bicycle team called Road 13, and also an iPhone. The bunny guy starts texting him saying that he framed Matsumoto for the murder, and the cops are on their way. If Matsumoto is able to evade the cops for 100 days, then not only will the bunny guy turn himself in, but he'll get Matsumoto reinstated as a bike racer guy. Matsumoto bikes real fast, outrunning cop cars before finding Kurokawa, who tells him, yeah, no, if the cops catch you, then you're fucked, so take my bike, and Matsumoto gets out of there. Popcorn Jordan.
In the next town, bunny guy gets this deadbeat dad named Ogata, who's actually a really good, different kind of bike guy, to race Matsumoto. Bunny guy then streams the whole thing to Twitch and starts getting a shitload of donations to Matsumoto's bounty. Matsumoto is able to defeat Ogata, which inspires Ogata to stop drinking beer 24/7 and start doing DoorDash instead. Meanwhile, Kurokawa is looking for bunny guy and enlists a big booby hacker named Imu, who is in love with him and stalks him, to the chagrin of his partner Sano, who is also in love with him and stalks him.
I really thought that she would be more relevant.
I know! Imu sends Kurokawa to an old acquaintance of his and Matsumoto's, who reveals that actually he spiked Matsumoto's drink with dope, which got him kicked out of bike racing. He did this out of jealousy and also a mountain of cash given to him by Tenryu, the dead guy, who wanted Matsumoto gone, presumably so that Kira a younger, hotter biker could start winning stuff. And because Tenryu had hired Kira to be on his Road 13 gang thing, bike group team, Kurikawa discovers a lead that implicates Matsumoto's GF as the bunny guy. On the flippity side, Matsumoto gets to his hometown where he sees his ugly dad before having to escape from a horde of idol fans. They're sent by Akane, a crazed former celebrity who has a loyal following because she gives really good hugs. Akane was also screwed over by Tenryu, but was told by the bunny guy that she'll get famous again if she catches Matsumoto. Among her hordes is Sora, a young BMX star who wants to do bike racing instead, but he can't because if he does, then his parents will get divorced. Matsumoto wins, but inspires Akane to stop being an asshole and Sora to bike race anyway. Popcorn David.
After beating Sora, Matsumoto discovers that Kira has been summoned to race him. Kira had previously raced Matsumoto a bunch of times and lost everyone, but even though he's winning this time, he forfeits because Matsumoto is tired and it would be a shitty victory. Kurikawa confronts Matsumoto's girlfriend, who confesses that she killed Tenryu before admitting, nah, actually it was someone else, and in real time I updated and deleted my notes. The next race involves Matsumoto teaming up with Kurikawa's little brother, which leads to the creation of a team consisting of them. Ogata, who has left his wife and kids to do this. Oh, Jordan, that's a reasonable thing to take a siesta for a fucking chance at, was it $5 million or something?
I just really like how he was like, hey, I left my wife and kids to help you here, okay?
Yeah, it's like, I need to stress how neglectful father I am. It's like, I think the alcoholism really explained that pretty well.
Yeah, I just thought that
Neglectful fathers is a trope in this series.
Yeah, Sora and Kiro, who showed up out of nowhere. A bunch of time skips happen, and the team ends up in a massive 23-day tournament created by the bunny guy, which has attracted even the winners of the Tour de France. On the 100th day, Kurikawa finds the real culprit, who is Lance Armstrong.
What?
What kind of... Actually, that would have been amazing.
It's been fucking incredible.
No, it's some guy named Ritsu. Ritsu's dad used to run a biking competition and dreamed of making a bike race even bigger than the Tour de France, but he ended up having his whole shit stolen and murdered by Tenryu. So Ritsu decided to kill Tenryu and use Matsumoto to create a internationally famous situation, leading to a massive race, which he did. Ritsu is arrested, Matsumoto wins the race, hugs his girlfriend, and literally just ends at that scene.
It's done.
It's it. That's it. So Tristan, this is a very common pattern in manga when the author realizes he has run out of time to tell his story.
Yeah, like the pacing was wonderful in that it's absolute garbage. So everything was fine. I kind of pegged the exact moment because like I started this on the app and it's like, hey, there are only 27 chapters with a bunch of X chapters because we need to put in recipes and food in there somehow.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's a thing.
You really want to talk about cooking.
Yeah, we really do. And the moment where I knew, okay, this doesn't make any freaking sense was after he got away from all the idol gang, after he beat the BMX kid. He's tired. He just finished the race. And then Kiro shows up for no reason. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And then they don't even finish the race. Oh, I'm bored now. I'm going to leave. And then everything just kind of went absolute tits up from there. And I'm like, it was here. This was the moment he was told he had a limited amount of chapters left. Oh, it was right here.
Yeah.
So, Tristan, on the note, because I would say these are some of those paper thin characters I've ever encountered in a shonen series before. Can you tell us a little bit about the main character?
The impression I got from him at the very start, which only lasted like a tiny little bit. Have either of you watched Golden Boy?
I love Golden Boy.
I got a lot of Golden Boy vibes for the first little bit, and then, you know, the murder happened, and then at that point, it was like, okay, well, this is a very different thing. And I realized that not all bike racers are the same, and it's not always Golden Boy, but that was that was the general feeling I got from him. It's just like, his only things is he got framed twice, and he can bike real fast. And that's kind of all we know about him.
And he has an ambiguous girlfriend who I really don't understand what her purpose was.
Yeah, I mean, because she was kind of there to be like, hey, he has people that he can talk to. He has a girlfriend. He has a life. And I'm like, okay. But then they don't do anything with her. And then she's brought up as, oh, maybe she's the one with the bunny mask. And I'm like, but that makes like legitimately zero sense.
Do you think it was like his editor was like, that doesn't make sense? He's like, but I already drew these pages.
I mean, it really did feel like that, like the whole bunny, oh my God, the whole bunny thing was just absolutely stupid to me.
Yeah, it was.
The whole bunny thing to me very much felt felt like, hey, I just spent a lot of time watching Danganronpa or something similar. I need to have something like that. And when those first chapters came out that the Bunny Man existed, I do not believe that the mangaka knew who was under the bunny mask at that time. It very much felt like we will figure this out later.
It's like, it turns out, oh man, we're still the characters. We're not quite in. Let's get into why it failed. Who the fuck are these characters?
No one cares about the other characters. All right, let's get into it. So, Tristan, please continue that thought, since I know you very much want to critique the series, so go for it.
I mean, that's just kind of it. There's a lot of things here that just felt like you had an idea. You had like a very rough idea of this is something that you wanted to do. And the idea was good. I actually think that the rough idea was good. It's just that all you had was this one idea. And that's kind of it.
The execution was very flawed. I'll say that.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, you're trying to shoehorn in a lot of things about bike racing here. And I understand why you're doing it, because, I mean, if you're doing a manga about any sport, I would hope that you at least in some way try and dive a little bit into the sport for people who don't know any better, which is going to be the majority of your audience unless you're like a hardcore biker fan or what have you. So I get that. But also, I feel like it was done in such a poor way that I'm like, I can think of at least a handful of other bike anime and manga that wouldn't have done this better. And so when that exists, I'm almost like, why didn't you just crib from them? Because that would have been better than what you did, which is barely anything.
I think the metric of success for any sports manga is, would I rather be reading Aishou 21 than this?
Yeah.
That's so unfair.
It's really unfair, but it is true. Where at all times I wonder, could I just be reading Aishou 21? Which is, I have to stress, is about a sport I have zero interest in otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. I think this offer, if you wanted to have like this murder mystery, you needed to plan things out. This is just not a series that you can just like think of like action of the week. And on that note, he spends a lot of time on these races. It's like 4 or 5 chapters, like 20 to 30% on each individual race.
And there's not much to them, though.
Yeah, like, why did he need to have I know the guy who joins his team. Why was that 5 chapters for the first ever challenge?
I don't know.
God, that guy sucks, too.
And then he's like, I need a part 2 to this race. I'm like, no, you fucking don't. Just end this goddamn scenario.
His poor wife, all right? This motherfucker, Ogata, talking to his wife, she's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, you're a fucking idiot. Shut up.
Biking's a man's dream.
Dude, what the fuck? And then they try and be like, oh, he's actually like a good guy with a strong sense of justice. So it's ironic that he was
cheating.
He was cheating, but not really, David. It wasn't technically breaking the rules, you know.
Okay, so extremely unsportsmanlike conduct.
Very unsportsmanlike.
Did you see? He had a knife, was one of the things he took out of his pocket. He was very clearly going to badly hurt Matsumoto if he needed to.
Yeah.
Okay, so when that first race happened, that first arc, this was me trying to read through this and be like, okay, this is what you're trying to set up. Basically, what you want to do is, because Matsumoto needs to get out. He needs to keep moving. He's not allowed to stop. He was explicitly told at the very start, hey, you need to not stay in the same prefecture for more than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So, to me, that kind of set up, okay, so you're going to have a bunch of like small little mini arcs where he's in each different region. And there's going to be people that he meets there that'll either help him or want the bounty. And that's cool. So then we get to this one, which is like the first one. This should be like setting the stage. This is how things are going to roughly go from here on out. And it's like, okay, well, you're gonna be here and you're going to have an opponent, which was not a thing before because they need to be racing. So here's your opponent and we're going to spend some time building him as a character, except he's a garbage character. We don't like him. I don't think we're supposed to like him, or maybe we were. That was the weird thing. I didn't know if we were supposed to like this guy because yeah, he does a lot of really not great things. He doesn't have a good vibe. Yeah, he has a wife, but he doesn't seem to treat her all that well.
No.
Like at all. So then it's like, oh, well, now you've taught me to come to the good side. I guess I'll go do DoorDash now. And it's like, what?
Did DoorDash sponsor this manga? They really talk about it very highly.
They do.
I mean, it's not literally DoorDash, but it's DoorDash.
It's the equivalent. DoorDash, Uber Eats,
or like
whatever.
Caviar.
Yeah, like whatever Japanese equivalent they have out there. It's that sort of thing. And it's like, I don't understand why that was such a big thing. It's like, I understand that, like, okay, he wanted to keep biking and joining the gig economy made sense for him at the time. But the fact that they keep bringing it up just felt so weird. It's almost like they didn't have a better way of dealing with it. It's more of a, yeah, this just makes sense. Because I haven't done a lot of, or any at all, gig economy like DoorDash sort of things before. But my understanding of it is that it's not really something that you can make a decent living off of, at least not on its own.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I have done it. A lot of it involves just waiting for them to have your food ready. Like, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like, actually, what he would end up doing is bike really fast to the restaurant to get the food and then just wait there for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Every time, at least. And then after he delivers, he would have to wait for like 20 minutes for a new order sometimes. So it's not quite as constant as they imply.
No, it could not be.
Yeah. Also, I was kind of hoping that they would have him lose one, like, because they were like...
He kind of loses one, and it's the one race where the guy's like, you're right, it didn't matter.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, but I mean, because they're like, oh, the penalty is that this person is going to have access to your GPS the whole time, which is like, that might have been interesting where he has like a constant pursuer, but it doesn't happen.
And even then, like, they're trying to argue that, okay, no, we're going to give you some time to rest occasionally. Oh, yeah, I'm going to give you, like, a hotel room or what have you. If you had a constant pursuer that always knew where your GPS was, like, what's the point of resting?
Yeah.
You can't.
It could be like that's part of like unlocking the hotel room is like we'll pause it.
I mean, maybe.
When you're like within like 100, like 10 kilometers of the hotel or some range.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I think that was kind of almost the point where it's like, if you lose one, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
But it's also like...
Because that's good streaming material, man. You can't lose.
Yeah.
It's got to be undefeated.
Undefeated of the East. But anyway, also, man, this art, huh? This art...
This art reminds me a lot of Beast Children.
This art is fucking garbage most of the time. Like this, it's not always terrible.
No.
But man, sometimes it's really bad.
Before I did my read through, I did see the like clips that you guys were posting in the shared Discord about this recording.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at this art and I'm like, this wasn't in Jump, was it?
Right.
No, it was digital.
Well, yeah, it was digital, but still, it's like, I get that, like, it's all cherry-picked. It's like, these are the absolute kind of, like, worst stuff that the manga has, but I went into it thinking this was the baseline, being like, this can't be tied down to Jump, right? Not something that looks like this. I've seen freaking, like, fanzines that look better than this. What the heck?
This is a webcomic. This is a webcomic.
Let me show you the art of a manga that did run in Shonen Jump, though, for just a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is a manga known as Zon.
Yeah.
And this is the actual art of a manga that did actually run in Shonen Jump.
Is this from the 90s?
No, this came out in like 2006 or 7.
Ouch.
It's very Bleach inspired, but this is actually published. You can literally, this is the physical edition of Weekly Shonen Jump. So
it feels like it's this weird, hey, what if Bleach, but also Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
It's more like, what if Bleach, but garbage?
Yeah, listeners know Zon is perhaps the worst drawn thing that's ever been published in Shonen Jump.
But you're right. It's like pretty rare, you know, that something that looks this shitty runs in Jump. Like this is...
And it ran for a year.
Yeah, almost a year. But,
well, yeah, but like still, wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, it got past the, what we call the U19 club, which is, you know, under 19, of course.
Do you think when, like, it was nearing, like, let's see, because 100 days is, like, what, like, 15 weeks or so? Do you think the editors were like, we had the option to do the funniest thing possible? By just canceling it.
Canceling it 100 days from it launching. Yeah, that would have made the time skips make more sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Because then you can be like, well, no, we were trying to publish it and have it all done within 100 days. So the time skips are all the time that passed between releasing of chapters.
That's true.
That could have saved it.
That actually would have been cool if you, like, it progressed a week in real time every time. And it wasn't, like, a designated. Actually, that's a good idea. It could have just been, like, a really tight 15-chapter series.
Yeah. Really want to point out when it comes to the art, whenever he would have a man over the age of 30 or something, holy shit, what the fuck happened to that guy's face? Every single time he tries to, like, put in any detail beyond just the traditional triangle chin, it looked horrible.
What was with his dad's haircut?
What was with his dad's whole thing? Everything about his dad looked bad.
Fucking geeky ass haircut.
What was with his dad?
Yeah. I also do want to say that he had all the characters look really similar to the point where the author had to keep putting name cards on. Because they all just looked the fucking same. It was like the same face with different hair colors for a lot of the bikers.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know that's a stereotype about anime and manga where it's just like it's the same face with different hair.
Very same face.
But I mean, it's like it was particularly noticeable here.
Well, he just didn't give the characters like any defining features.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing, is like you get around having everybody with mostly the same face by giving them defining features.
He gave that one girl really big boobs.
Yeah, he did. The hacker girl.
The hacker girl.
The goblin mode hacker girl that kept sexually harassing the police guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fan service, I guess.
It's okay because she's a girl. It's not.
That's true.
There's nothing wrong with it because she's a girl.
I also love, we talked about it a little bit, but it's really interesting how you can literally tell the moment the author gave up on this series in like such like a very blatant way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's maybe like the 20-30 day time skip that happens out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, even before that, I think he just kind of was like, oh, this isn't really working anymore.
Yeah.
Like when he started doing the, like, I think it was like after like the 5th competition, I could tell his heart, like he just stopped caring.
Yeah.
I mean, most of it just kind of went downhill. Like the BMX guy, I think, was the last true race / competition that the manga actually cared about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after that point, it was like, yeah, no, we're just done. It's fine. We'll just try and wrap everything up, which is hard because he gave himself the whole deadline of, no, there are 100 days. So then it's like, okay, well, I guess 30 of them, shit happened. You don't know.
Yeah.
And now we're
like,
here.
Whatever. I do want to say we've been talking a bunch about this manga's flaws, and not once have we talked about the narration.
Yeah. The fucking Hunter x Hunter-esque narration this thing has.
I have always defended Hunter x Hunter's narration, and I will continue to do so. But I will not defend this narration.
It's so lazy.
So much of it is just like, yeah, I get it. Like, one of the first ones is he, like, makes a hard left turn to dodge a police car, and it's like, one of the benefits of being in a bike is that he could make this hard turn and dodge and the police car can't. And it's like, I know.
Yeah.
You just show
Thank you,
that.
Speedwagon.
Yeah, like, I could tell. Like, there's so many where it's just like, you didn't have to tell me that. I see what you drew, and you drew it.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah. It's like he's pushing himself with both wheels of his bike on the ground. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah. He really started biking hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Draw it.
He was tired, and then he wasn't, so he could keep going.
but the thing is, like, that's what's so funny, Tristan. He did draw it.
It's like how he constantly had to say what the names of the characters were.
Like,
I don't know. Maybe it's like he drew it all and then maybe he had a mandate being like, no, you need this amount of text on the page at any given time.
no, you're showing too much. You have to tell.
Wait, it's show, don't tell? Fuck!
Oh, no.
Fuck was show and tell. That's a good 6-word summary. Okay, Tristan, do you have any art criticism for the series?
Beyond what we've already spoken about, I mean, I could probably dig even harder and just be overly nitpicky, but most of it just comes down to none of this makes any sense.
Yeah.
The other big thing was like, oh, why can't you just go to the police? Oh, because the cops are in on it. It's all a massive conspiracy that this bunny is orchestrated. And I'm just like, but why though? They never explained that part of like why the cops are like, yeah, we're not going to investigate this website or this stream or anything else. No, this guy is the murderer because we say so. And it's like, yeah, okay, that screams conspiracy and cover up, but you don't really get into that at all. It's just kind of like, who cares?
Here's the thing. If you have a murder mystery, it's not a mystery if you introduce the culprit out of nowhere. You know, like, it's
there
only
was no way to figure out who the bunny guy was.
It's only a mystery if there is a theoretical way to find out.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, ho, it's this guy you've never met before. Like, okay, well, yeah, of course I wasn't gonna get that. No shit.
I understand why some mysteries do that, because they don't want people figuring it out too early just because you only have a limited cast. And so it must be one of the limited cast members. And then as time goes on, it becomes less unlikely that any individual member was the one who did it.
Well, sure, but that's why good murder mysteries are hard.
Yeah, but I would prefer that
Yeah.
over some guy we've never seen who was tangentially related because of the guy who died. And then he just felt like Matsumoto deserved a break, but also wanted to basically torture him by telling him, yeah, by the way, I'm going to frame you for murder and then have you ride hard for the next 100 days. And then maybe, no, he even says, I will turn myself in, only for a couple of chapters later to be like, hey, girlfriend, if he makes it, you're the one turning yourself in.
But then at the end, he's like, oh, I was always planning on turning myself in anyway, even if Matsumoto decided not to do it. So really, there was no danger, actually.
That was, we're wrapping everything up in a bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of wrapping everything up in a bow, I think we do have to get into the positives. So let's slide into that. So Jordan, why don't you tell us what are some things you enjoyed about the series?
So we spent a long time on the negatives of this section, and which sometimes we'll do this. And the thing is, like, I kind of enjoyed reading a lot of the series.
I thought this wasn't a flop for the first like 10 chapters.
Yeah, like I was like this series, for all the issues, like it kept its energy going, which is like, you know, kind of ironic because of what it is. At least until, you know, it started to run out of steam. Ironically, it didn't pace itself super well, but when it was going, man, it was going. Like there were moments where I even feel like the art really nailed it. There were certain points where the jankiness of the art suddenly felt stylized, like in an intentional way. A lot of the times where Matsumoto is like hunched over and racing super hard, and it was like really intense lines, and like you could feel like the energy coming off of him and like the people he was racing. Like it worked then, actually. Like it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that actually looks pretty good and is evocative. Okay.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just think that the racing actually seems dynamic. I also like how the ridiculous shit that happens in the first few chapters, and that's why Matsumoto is like built for this, when he does all these crazy stunts that I'm pretty sure are not physically possible or would break his bike. But he was able to sell me on giving like suspension of disbelief in some of the bullshit, just because I think the art does really help represent the crazy antics he's doing on his bike, like riding up a wall.
I also liked that Matsumoto is legitimately crazy.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Like, there was a moment where it was Kurakawa was like, yo, Matsumoto, you don't have to worry. Like, I can catch the bad guy. Like, I can do it. And Matsumoto's like, yeah, but can you not? I mean, like, I'm actually kind of thankful to him because I'm just having a great time. And, like,
You don't have to do this competition anymore. Nah.
Yeah, he could have just thrown the phone in the river.
yeah.
Nah, I win. I'll win.
And it's like, on one hand, that's fucking insane. On the other hand, he's fucking insane. Like, that's, that is, I actually kind of bought it because it was like, he clearly is written to be somebody who lives for biking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tristan, how about you? Was there anything you enjoyed we haven't talked about yet?
I mean, not particularly, but I think that, like, my experience was...
God, what a glowing review.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my experience was heavily tainted by the fact that I knew it was already over.
Yeah.
So it was like, I found it very hard to, like, even enjoy the early chapters because I was too busy being like, all right, where's the crack? Where do things start going downhill? And I kind of felt it near the beginning because a lot of things with the bunny guy, none of that made, like, logical sense to me. All of it was just like, no, we set up this thing where he's got to run for 100 days and he's got to get away. And I'm like, but why? Because that's what the manga is about.
Yeah.
But why is it like that?
It does lampshade how stupid this premise is quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that he actually had pretty decent variation with the challenges. It didn't feel like, oh, it's just a race, but this time a race on the street, this time a race in a tunnel, this time a race in the woods. Like, he had some cool ideas. He brushed over pretty fast, but that, like, you have to stay within 2 meters or a 2-mate thing sounded kind of cool. Like, actually, fuck it. They should have had a tandem bike section. That would have been
great.
I bet that was on his short list of
Yeah.
things before he ran out of time. That whole, like, if you pass someone, you got to steal shit from them, I thought honestly was kind of cool, even though it was done way too quickly.
Yeah, like so quickly that you didn't even like fully realize what was going on. And I'm like, did they explain this to everyone? Did they get their stuff back? Like, just what's going on with this? It just felt like a weird way of explaining, oh yeah, by the way, mountain bikes are one type of bike, and then street bikes are a different type of bike, and then this is a granny bike. That means it's really old. And it just felt like somebody really wanted to explain this.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason that's here in the manga, is just so that this could be explained. Because it's not even a matter of here's the granny bike and then here's his normal bike. It's like, no, he's also going to pick up this bike on the way in and then also this bike, which is slightly better. And it just felt like a showcase of the bikes.
On that note, I did kind of appreciate that, like, you can tell that the author really likes this sport. You know?
Well, yeah, I'd hope so. If he didn't like it, like, why are you doing this?
You know, you'd hope that, but that's not a given.
Yeah.
Trust me, that's not a given.
That is, I think, completely fair. Shall we get into where it could have gone, though?
Yeah.
Sure.
I honestly think that the whole murder mystery thing was completely unnecessary. Like, what if this was like a Squid Game situation where he's just like down on his luck and the guy is like, hey, you want to make $1 million yen doing this challenge? And then you don't have like all this weird baggage and he can just focus on these crazy bike races, which is all I think anyone reading this cared about.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys care about the murder mystery at all?
That's one thing that you could have done. Like, you could have removed the murder mystery and instead gave a use to the girlfriend by having her be kidnapped or something to that effect.
Oh, that's a good idea.
To be like, yeah, no, by the way, if you want to save her, then you better go race or something. But like the whole, yeah, we're going to frame you again, just felt stupid. It's like, okay, yes, I get that Matsumoto is so dumb that he gets framed twice, but it's like there are other ways that you could have done this and ended up in the same situation. And then also, because he got framed for murder, the whole idea that Bunny Guy would just turn himself in and everything would be fine, despite the fact that public perception of Matsumoto as a murderer would be something he'd never get rid of.
Right?
And so it's just like, well, no, the doping is one thing, because then you could be like, no, I'm gonna kidnap your girlfriend, or whatever motivation that they could also come up with to like get him to go and do this race. They could do the bounty still, they could still do the streaming of all of that, and then the promise would be, hey, we would force the guy that did the doping on you to have him get turned in, and so at the end of it, then you would be able to go back and have like your clear record, and then also all of this fan base from everybody who was following the stream. Like, that would have made sense to me.
Yeah, by the way, like that does kind of make me think now. It's like, imagine if it's like, oh, this murderer who has been running away from the police for 100 days. Actually, you know what? This guy magically showed up and turned himself in. And actually, the whole thing where he was disgraced, oh, the guy who did that turned himself in. And oh, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Like, no,
Yeah.
the people like following this would go
No.
Alex Jones as fuck on this shit. Like, what is the conspiracy here?
Yeah.
What is the conspiracy? Matsumoto's turned the freaking frogs gay.
His dad gets arrested, and they never bring it up again.
Oh, his dad's been fine. He's just been sitting in jail for 100 days.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, oh, I had his dad arrested because there was like a weird guy walking around his place. Yeah, how the fuck did this kid control the police? It's never explained.
He's like that. Isn't there like that guy in Rick and Morty? It's his powers. He can control the police, and they don't really explain it. He just can.
That's great. I haven't.
But
heard
that's
that.
Rick and Morty, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not this.
Yeah, it's also hard when he has to leave every 3 days. He doesn't ever get like a chance to really sit and stay with someone.
And that could be fine, but they just don't do anything with it.
Yeah, they do nothing with it. That's the thing. It feels like this guy had plotted everything out, and he's like, and then at day 20, I'm gonna do this. And then at day 30, I'm gonna do that. And he's like, what? I'm not even getting to the interesting things?
To me, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more of a, hey, this is what I want to do. And then someone from like higher up at Jump or editorial was like, no, you got to put a time limit on that. 100 days escape. And it's like, but why though? 100 days.
100 days.
And then he's just like, okay, I guess. It did not, to me, it never felt like any of this was planned out. It very felt like a seat of the pants kind of plot from almost beginning to end.
Yeah, that's fair.
He didn't even probably have every challenge written out.
No.
I feel like he had ideas that he was like, I'll probably do that around here.
Yeah.
I'll probably
Like
do that around
maybe
there.
the types of challenges was something that he had planned out, of things that he wanted to do, but like how they would actually work narratively. Because the main thing that you throw Matsumoto through, yeah, by the way, the Idol and her minions are part 1 of this night, and then you're going to face off against the BMX guy, same night, and then as soon as that's done, Kira's going to show up, same night, and it's like, you didn't, that could have been 3 separate things, man.
Yeah.
You could have spread that out into like 3 separate areas, 3 separate prefectures, like completely separate things, but you did it all in one night for some reason. Why?
I feel like this series almost accidentally stumbled onto a better plot where they were like, oh my god, Tenryu faked his own death and is controlling this whole thing, which like...
Oh my god, I read that and I'm like, as soon as I read that, I was like, they're not doing this, but if they did, that would have been amazing.
That would have been way better. It would have explained so much. Because it's like, oh yeah, of course he controls the police because he has all this dirt on people. Oh yeah, of course he wants to make this whole thing happen with Matsumoto to stir up like all of this publicity and to make all this, like, this is consistent with everything he does. And it's like,
Yeah.
nah.
It also is, how do you make a murder charge go away? The victim didn't actually die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And also he's the one who would be like, and you know what, by the way, I'm responsible for him doping, so I know for a fact he didn't do it because I control the body that controls it, so I'll make that go away. Yeah, it would have solved like everything, but the guy's like, no.
It's too good an idea, Jordan.
It's too obvious. You know what? Sometimes maybe the reason why an idea is guessable is because it makes sense.
Yeah. I just wish that they didn't bring it up as an option of
Yeah.
what could have been.
Because it just
Yeah,
makes you realize how much better of an idea it would be than just be like, yeah, this guy you've never met was doing this. And he was able to do it because he went to a coding boot camp. Essentially.
Essentially.
Yeah, it's also fuck, what was it? I lost it. No, I lost my idea. Oh well. Damn, I really fucking lost it. God, I had a fucking idea and I wanted to say it and I forgot it. It's okay. But yeah, this series is... Oh, my idea was, what if also he had actually killed the guy?
Yeah, what if it
And
was...
like, we talked about in the first chapter, what if he actually was like a psychopath and he actually did everything?
Or it was like a Tyler Durden thing, where like,
Yeah.
he had like this secret bunny thing.
He was imagining the bunny guy talking to him the whole time.
Yeah.
Some weird FNAF thing, yeah.
Yeah. He's William Afton. He's the purple guy. His skin turns purple and he starts stuffing people.
I mean, I could have believed that it was all in his head if it weren't for like the live streaming and all of that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that
that's
part wouldn't
true.
have made sense.
Matt, it's like Silent Hill, and they're like, they look like bicyclists to you. Actually, can you imagine he went through Silent Hill on a bicycle?
He does the Doppio thing where he's like, he thinks he's like talking to this iPhone and it's just like a rock that he's taped to his bike.
Yeah. All right, we're getting to miscellaneous spots. Let's get into that section, all right?
Yeah.
Tristan, is there anything you feel you haven't had a chance to say yet on the show?
Hey, that guy wanted for murder is trespassing. No, he's not trespassing. My dad actually owns all of the properties around here.
That was so funny.
They had a convenient explanation for every case where you think he's breaking and entering.
Yeah, it's like, no, actually, his family owns all of them. And then he like breaks into his school and it's like, oh, actually, nobody owns that school. It's kind of a...
But why does he care? He's wanted for murder.
I know!
Not only that, but like even if he did, like if his family owns that much property, I realize that property in Japan is different from North America, but if his family...
It's still probably still millions of dollars of property.
If his family owns all of that property, why the heck is he doing DoorDash in Tokyo?
Yeah, well, because his dad is clearly a pull yourself up by your bootstraps boomer type person, to be fair.
But also, like, his dad has his own boss.
Yeah.
He's like, he owns all of these properties. His family owns all of these properties. And yet, he is just a grunt worker at a different job.
Yeah.
What?
I will say, I did love the moment where, in order to escape, his dad just takes out a chainsaw and cuts down a tree for him to ramp off of. I thought that was kind of rad.
That was pretty dope, yeah. And then when his dad got arrested, I was like, wait, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They had this whole big thing where it's just like, oh, no, you gotta look after your son when he's back, because that's what fathers do. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Cut to next scene. Yeah, he's arrested. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What? Oh, because he assisted his son. And I'm just like, you made no indication that that was going to be a thing, like last chapter, the last like couple of chapters. It just felt like added stakes that did nothing.
Speaking of added stakes, how about the cooking manga extra chapters?
Some of the recipes seem decent, to be
Yeah.
honest.
The first extra chapter it was like an addition at the end of chapter 1 where like Matsumoto's detective friend is like, hey, let me buy you some supplies, which I felt like, I feel like the author did that to fill a plot hole of why Matsumoto had supplies.
Yeah.
And B, that is way more implicating yourself than just being like, yeah, I don't know, what if you stole my bike? I don't know. What if you just, I don't know, stole my bike? I'm not
What
looking.
if you stole my bike that happened to have this delivery bag with all of these supplies that
Yeah.
would be very convenient for you to have?
What if you just did that versus, hey man, I'll go get this stuff for you?
Yeah.
Like, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So stupid. I do love the crowdfunded bounty, which I honestly feel like we're not too far away from.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd only say that we're not if for no other reason than the amount of times that you can go online and then you see things for all of the crowdfundings where who's ever running the crowdfunding just disappears with the money.
Oh, I genuinely thought he was just going to take the money and run.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the thing, but it's like, so then to say, oh, we're not too far away from that, I'm like, I feel like maybe I'm wrong because, I mean, the stupidity of humanity has surprised me multiple times. I just don't see people doing it to enough amounts of money where it's noteworthy because it's like, well, they're just going to take the money and run. They're not going to apply this as a bounty to who's actually wanted. Like, none of that's going to matter. I mean, we've already seen things where there were bounty places on people, and then once they're found, it's like, about that bounty, do you want a free steak? Like, that's it.
I do think it's notable how much Gen Z brain rot slang was all over this fucking manga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I am surprised nobody said skibbity.
They did say Riz.
They said Riz.
That did say Riz.
They said based. They said goated. They said a lot of stuff.
I'm wondering, though, if it's because Skibbity is very close to being, like, branded and part of, like,
that's
a
true.
brand now, TM.
Yeah.
So people are trying to avoid using it so they don't get sued later or something. I don't know.
The only reason. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny seeing memes like in Itchy the Witch. I don't know, Tristan, if you read that.
No, I do not.
So there's a character who's like, I bet this character's not even that hot. And he shows up and she just goes, wood.
They do that here. I'm pretty sure they do that a couple times here.
They do that shit here.
They're like, he hot, FR, or something.
For real, yeah.
Also, the number
God,
of times...
all of the comments were just so dumb.
They were really dumb.
Oh, yeah, but they were realistic comments.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, though, I was expecting, maybe I missed it. I didn't see a single comment that was just a string of W's.
That's true. Or did they have an F comment?
Well, that's called localization.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I mean, they all fit within these little comment boxes or these little bubbles, and like none of them were big enough for the infinite W tray.
I'm just imagining a brain comments like based in bike build.
My favorite thing about the string of W's, for those who don't know, that's how you do LOL in Japanese. You just type W over and over again.
Because you're too busy laughing, so all you can do is press and hold the W key.
Yeah, but also it's been noticed that the W's look like grass, so sometimes people will just type the kanji for grass.
To touch grass, yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine all those times he breaks through a window, he just cuts the shit out of him, and he has to be hospitalized.
Yeah, man, he did some crazy shit. I liked when he jumped out of the window and then just like hopped on the bicycle seats.
The other bikes hop.
Yeah. But it was also...
It's a bike, not a pogo stick.
I would kind of like more crazier things to happen, though.
Yeah. Like, that bike doesn't follow the law of physics at all.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's doing like Assassin's Creed shit. Or
God.
Prince of Persia shit, I'm sorry, where it's just running on the wall. And the first time he runs on the wall, they're like, whoa, he's running on the wall. And then he runs on the wall like 5 more times.
Mm-hmm.
God. And then MaxyBee, by the way, just says this series is yet to break 1 million views on Manga Plus. In post-cancellation, it's very unlikely, but if you know 89,000 people that want to go read this manga, we can do it. So Tristan, if you want to mobilize your viewership to get this up to 1 million, I think that would be a colossal waste of your time.
It would be. Also because the amount of times that I've tried to like rally people to be like, hey, look at this cool thing. And people are like, that is only a cool thing to you and you know it. And I'm like,
hey, you can tell me. I'm happy to look at cool things. So Tristan, you can at least get those numbers up by 2 by sending it to me and Jordan. All right. And I definitely feel you may have a spot to plug a cool thing that more people should read as we get into the final verdict. So let's do it. Starting with 6-word summaries from our community, MaxyBee said, on your bike, love, you're canceled. I don't want to do that accent to offend MaxyBee.
On your bike, love, you're cancelled. There you go.
They're Grey Potter, Man Seeks More Clout Than France, and Tour de France, but Japanese style. Chicken Warlord, Shin Yowamushi Pedal, Granddad Roadkill Edition. Diego Tour de France Murder Run Files. Dude Rocks, Beyond Kichi's Morals Better Than Kick Streamers. Jersey Look, The Fugitive, but with bike racing. They're really going to love the cover art for this episode, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
For the record, Tristan, we just had them redraw the cover of The Fugitive, but with him on a bicycle. Portal Man says, moving on the Tour de Murder. And Spubby, solving a guy's murder, zoom, zoom. Or, who's the main villain? Literally, who? Sorry. Who's the main villain? Literally, who? Which, actually, I realized, I don't think that was their intent. I did it anyway. Too bad. Jordan, what was your 6-word summary?
To quote one of my favorite bands, Iron Maiden, live to bike to live.
I had a few because we didn't get it. We had a few just because we had the space for them. So I'm going to say Spider Bike does whatever a bike can. And I noticed that they spelled Spider-Man legally distinctly with a Y.
It's true.
And Tagashi proudly presents Biker with that silent X. And finally, that was my favorite. And then the last one was just gives up at the uphill climb. So I feel pretty strongly that Tagashi one I think was my strongest submission.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then Tristan, how about you?
The best I got is not even 6 words. It's just a really stupid reference because it's just dang good robot motorcycles. Except it's not motorcycles, it's bicycles, which makes it even worse of a reference.
I still love it. I do want to say, actually, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is pretty good.
I know some people that would agree with you.
They were a bunch of cowards, though, because the final villain is, like, has the main character's face, and he's from the future, like, he's fighting himself. And they're like, no, he's actually made himself look like the main character. I'm like, that is so lame. You should have made the bad guy him from the future.
Yeah.
That would have actually been really interesting, right? Because he's, like, wears a mask.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Meets Akira. It's kind of the best Yu-Gi-Oh! series in terms of...
It's actually funny, because we're covering the comic next.
The Kami?
Yeah, which is by the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now you know.
No, you know. Did you know that?
Then Tristan, I know you said you've got some cool things you wish more people would check out. What is something so much to check out in this? Though actually, I guess I should say, did you like the series?
No.
Exactly. I completely forgot to ask you because it was pretty obvious. So actually, we do actually have to say, Tristan, would you say this is a flop or a certified flop?
Look, what's the difference between a flop and a certified flop?
Certified flop is the word you would use the word terrible to describe it.
Then yes, this is a certified flop.
Ooh, Jordan, how
Damn.
about you?
I think it's a flop. I don't know if I would say certified. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think I have the same thing, a level of things to compare it to that you guys do.
that's the thing. You don't know how deep the barrel goes is the problem. It's, yeah.
No, I don't.
it's not fantastic. Yeah,
No.
Tristan, we have really seen how bad manga can get.
I bet.
Yes, this was actually on the, I would say this is better than,
If this was above average, I feel so sorry for you both.
this might actually be above average if you average every series, because I think like 1 in 10 series we say is worth reading.
Yeah.
So to be not atrocious actually puts it above that line of average, or like rating average.
It gets real bad, Tristan. It gets
Yeah.
real bad.
I do not doubt it. Not at all.
So shout out to MaxyBee for picking a series that wasn't atrocious for you, Tristan. But yeah, I also agree with you, Jordan. This is a flop. I think the fact that I enjoyed the first 10 chapters, and at least like I was like reading it, there was a lot of text I was skipping, but I never felt it was like painful for me to get through like we've seen with some other series.
Yeah, it didn't feel horrible to push myself through.
Yeah.
Which is how it feels with a lot of this stuff. The manga wasn't 70% text.
Yeah. So Tristan, though, what should someone check out instead of reading this manga? You can say anything you want, my man.
In absolutely general.
We've had guests plug their own shit.
Well, I mean, feel free to go and listen to my podcast as well instead of reading this because, well, our podcast, as I mentioned at the top, is Quest for the Best, and we're trying to find the top 100 anime, at least according to our 3 host opinions, and we're covering a lot of stuff that I would not have experienced otherwise. So, like, we went and we watched Tezuka's Cleopatra from the 70s.
Ooh.
Which, I mean, you have to go into it knowing this is the 70s, and this is animation from the 70s, but we still enjoyed ourselves, but it was such like one of those things of like, I would never have wanted to sit down and watch this otherwise. And
Fair.
I'm quite glad that I did. And it's things like that.
Yeah.
I love it. And then Jordan, how about you? What's your recommendation?
The song Tour de France by Kraftwerk.
All right. I've just been reading His Time to Torture Princess, which I don't know if you guys have checked out.
I've seen the anime.
It's very cute. I read it sometimes to my wife. Jordan, do you know about it?
I think you've talked about it before.
Yeah, so essentially it's just a princess that's being tortured by demons, except their torture is like really adorable shit, like taking her to a theme park or like snacks. So it's very tongue-in-cheek, and I really love it, especially how the demon lord is like a super, super great dad to his 6-year-old daughter who, he's like, oh, these battle plans, I can't make use of the surprise attack. My daughter has her soccer game tomorrow, and I have to be there in the morning for it.
It's very cute. I enjoy it a lot.
It's really cute, yeah. All right, so Jordan, though, would you say this is the worst thing we've ever read? I would say no,
No.
because it's not a certified flop.
No, it's not.
All right, let's get into a wrap up. Tristan, I want to say thank you so much for coming onto the show. It was a total blast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome back anytime. I know you already plugged some of your stuff, but is there anything else you feel like you haven't mentioned yet that people can check out that you've got going on?
No, as far as like my own things, it's my own channel on YouTube, Glass Reflection, and then my podcast, Quest for the Best. And that's pretty much it because I don't have time or bandwidth to do much else. I am very surprised that I was able to spend time in the past 24 hours to read this before recording.
Fair. I know it's always a little bit of a time sink to be on the show, so I really do appreciate you
Thank you
taking
so
the time.
much.
no.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
And then, Jordan, I want to say thank you for making the opening and ending theme, being a great co-host, and helping with editing.
Thank you, David, for doing literally everything else on the fucking show, like putting it together, and
no
also
problem.
editing, and like, yeah.
And props to Merlyle for the awesome cover art. You can find her online at Lyle Murr, and Nigel for being our generous art benefactor. Thank you, Dylan, for assistance with editing. You can find his podcast, Anime Out of Context, at animeoutofcontext.com. Thanks to Tucker and MaxyBee for assistance with pronunciation, translation, and other miscellaneous research. Find us on Blue Sky /X at Shonen Flop, Tumblr Shonen-Flop, and our website, shonenflop.com. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcasts, and come join the Shonen Flop Discord. It's open to everyone. Hang out with us, talk about anime, games, whatever else is on your mind. We even have a manga book club and movie nights. You can find a link to it in the show notes or on our site, shonenflop.com. We even have a few people that worked on different series answering questions, which is super dope. And Jordan, is there anything you want to toss in?
Yeah, I just did music for a game jam game called Biscuit Bandits. It's like a choose your own adventure game where you have to sail a sea of gravy to find the legendary Great Biscuit Island, because the prompt was risk it for the biscuit. And I'm actually really fucking proud of it. It turned out really great. If you want to check it out, you can find it on itsmostlymagic.itch.io/biscuit-bandits.
Is there a biscuit hammer in that game?
No, nor is there a
Boo.
Lucifer.
Nor is there a
sadly.
Lucifer.
I know.
So mad that got a bad anime adaptation.
Yeah.
Sad.
I also want to say how much I love my wife. She made me waffles this morning, and my dog, my adorable Puppuccino ravioli, where she thought she was getting people food. I gave her none, and then she literally walked over to her dog bowl, started eating, and turned and looked at me and gave me a side eye while she was eating her dog food.
And I love my girlfriend's stuff.
I could be having waffles right now.
Oh, waffles are great. I'm really excited. I'm actually going to be in Toronto in like 2 weeks, and my friend was hyping up this like Japanese pancake place.
Ooh,
so
nice.
I'm excited. On that note, but anyway, let's get into sign off.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in next Monday as we give our first thoughts on the comic. This has been David.
This has been Jordan.
And this has been Tristan.
And you've been listening to Shonen Flop.
Keep on flopping floppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.